like, subscribe, press the bell icon for more updates. For more videos, download our app from Play Store. Faculty Diploma Program. Welcome to third session of Cloud Computing and DevOps.
This is Vaibhav Mishram from PHN Technology Private Limited. On behalf of PHN Technology Private Limited, I welcome once again all the respected professors and teachers. Thank you for joining us today for the third session for a Faculty Diploma Program. I'm excited to introduce about our company, that is PHN Technology Private Limited. In 2013, we started as a robotic company. Now we are into the software development, digital marketing, business solutions, Android development, web development, and IoT. Our mission is to provide technology-based learning platform to all students in India. PHN Technology Private Limited has launched for the student PHN Tech UA. This program is for advanced technology workshop. And this program is helpful for the student to develop their knowledge, skill in various fields such as Android development, data science and machine learning with Python, 3D printing, DevOps, full stack development. Our trainer conducting workshop is from reputed companies such as Google, Microsoft, Amazon, and many more. The duration of workshop is of 2 days. And after that, the student will be get certified. We believe that our program will provide the student opportunities to learn from the expert in industry and gain the practical skill set that will helpful for the future career. I will share the link of chat box. You can circulate among the students. And without wasting the time, I would like to proceed with our session. I request Gaurav Shah sir to please take over.
Yes, thank you so much. So, hello all, very good morning. Hope all of you are doing good. So, before starting the session, please let me know who all people are new for the, who all people are joining for the first time this session. In the chat box, can you please respond, guys? Because I can see many of the people are from the old batches only. Okay. Let me share my screen. So how many of you are from like new joining for the first time? Can you please respond in the chat window? So accordingly, I'll deliver my session. Okay. Preeti ma'am, it's your first session. Shabi sir, it's your first session. Okay. So as we know, this is the 8 weeks faculty development program. So we have started our first session with the basics or understanding of the DevOps, how DevOps culture evolved, how software development life cycle was in the 1990s or 1995, in 2000s, how software development was used to do. Okay, in the first session, we understand what is the reason the DevOps tools and technologies came into the picture and how we are evolving into the software development life cycle. Okay, then we understood what is the meaning of CI/CD pipeline, what is the meaning of continuous integration, continuous deployment, and what all tools we are using for a CI/CD pipeline. So this all things we understand in the session number 1. In session 2, like last weekend, we have gone through the basics or the fundamentals of Linux. Okay, so Linux, Git, and any one programming language is a prerequisite in order to get into the get into the DevOps or cloud tools and technology toolchain. Basically, this is the basics or requirement for every technology, irrespective of your field. If you want to go into data science, then you need to have very good understanding of Linux, Git, and GitHub, as well as any one of the programming language. Okay, but the programming language differs as per the technology, because in DevOps we will require only fundamentals of programming like Python programming or Java programming, any one of the programming. So today, for the new people, let me introduce myself. My name is Gaurang Shah, and I am having overall 8 years of experience into the IT industry. I started my career as a software developer from Atos India Private Limited in 2015, mid of 2015. And I started working with the programming language like Java or databases like MySQL or Oracle. After having 2.5 years, I got attracted towards this fascinating technology, cloud as well as DevOps. So I started understanding cloud DevOps myself. I started sitting with the people who are having expertise in this field. I started sitting with the architects who is designing the whole system. And I got to learn about the new tools and technologies in GitHub and in DevOps as well as cloud. So in my current overall 8 years of experience, I got certified into multiple certifications like Google Cloud Professional Architect, Google Cloud Associate Engineer, then AZ104 Azure Administrator, AZ400 Azure DevOps, Java fundamentals. I'm certified into Oracle certified Java developer as well. And recently I got certified into Kubernetes. Okay. After working with Atos, I worked with Persistent for almost 1.5 years. And currently I am working as an assistant manager of DevOps team in Michelin Tires. Michelin Tires is world's second ranked tire manufacturing company. Okay. So that's all about me, and we will start today's session. The agenda of today's session is we are going to understand about Git and GitHub fundamentals. Today's session will be more of not that much deep, which will be required for a developer, but yes, Git and GitHub fundamentals, which is required to have at least what type of skill set you need to learn in Git and GitHub to become a proficient DevOps or cloud engineer. So in today's agenda, what we are going to cover is like what is version control system. But before version control system, how things used to do when version control system was not available. Let's say in the era of 1990s to 2000s, how people used to develop the software. We are going to understand that thing. Then we are going to understand what is the version control system. Just a minute. Yes, what is the version control system? Then what all are the benefits of the version control system? Then what are the types of version control system and what is the difference between that version control system? Then we are going to start learning about the Git and GitHub, like why we are using Git, GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket, these tools most widely in day-to-day life in a real-time approach. That you will understand if you know the basics. Once we start with the Git, then how we are doing the installation and setup of Git, that we are going to do. And along with that, we are going to learn about the real time, how we are working in the real time environment while in day-to-day life while using the Git tool. Okay. So feel free to ask me any questions if you are having any doubt in between. Okay, and I hope all of you guys are energetic for today's session. I will be happy if you respond in the chat window. Then it will motivate me to deliver you with a good energy. Hello, am I audible to all of you guys?
Yes, Gaurang sir, you are pretty much audible.
Yeah. So I'd like to have you guys to be interactive for the whole session, because if you guys are interactive, then I'll be happy to deliver you more things. Yeah, thank you so much. So let's start. What is the Git and GitHub? Okay. So the very first thing is, right now we are going to understand what is version control in old school days. The meaning of old school days is when there was no version control system, when there was no tools available for developers to do a day-to-day coding. Okay, so what used to do is there was one manager. If you see over here, there was one manager. and there was one manager, and one manager is managing a team of 4 people. For example, developer 1 name is Ashwini, developers 2 name is Amay, dev 3 is Rahul, and dev 4 is Akash. Okay. So what used to do is dev 1 used to do a code. Dev 2, these people are working on some feature development. They are developing some functionalities of the application. Okay. If dev 1 is done with their coding, okay, dev 2, dev 3, dev 4, all of these people needs to share their code in order to match up the code. For example, part of functionality is done by Achu and part of same functionality is done by Amey. These 2 people are working on a single feature, but they are working on different tasks. You can say different tasks. Simply, if let me give you the example. Ashu is working on login page, and dev 2, who is dev 2, let's say Akash. Akash is working on a registration page. This is just an example. Okay. So dev 1, Ashu is working on login page. Dev 2, Akash is working on registration page. These 2 are tasks. Okay. These 2 are tasks. But these 2 tasks are part of same feature. Okay. So guys, understand what is the meaning of feature is functionality. Basically, feature means functionality. If you see, whenever you do visit any website or any application, first of all, you register on that website, and then once your registration is done, you put up OTP and everything, you validate that it is your account, it is your email ID, or it is your mobile number, then you go ahead with the login page. So this is a one feature. On this one feature, these 2 people are working, Ashu and Akash. Okay. So they need to share their code. So they used to share their code with the help of zipping the file, and they are sharing the file. And once everyone done with their coding, they used to share that code with their manager. So their manager or their team lead need to compare the codes. He need to merge the code into single package. Okay. So this complete process, it was very much hectic. The reason is, right now I am talking about 4 developers, but if you see in the software development scenario, I personally seen many of teams which are having 25, 30, 50 numbers of developers working in a single project or in a single team. So it is very much difficult for manager or team lead to compare the code and merge the code and to make a single package out of it. So to resolve this issue, the version control system came into the place. Okay, so what is the meaning of version control system? If you see, as we know that the software product is developed in the collaboration way. As I told you, collaborated way means number of developers are working in a single project. Okay, so this is called a collaboration by a group of developers, and they might be located at different location or different regions, and each of them contribute some of the specific kind of functions to that particular software. Okay, so in order to contribute to the software, they made modification to the source code. Source code means project code, either by adding or removing the files. So what is the meaning of version control? Version control, also known as source control, it is the practice of tracking and managing changes to the software code. For example, down the line, if you open your mobile application, and in your mobile application, if you see, let's say WhatsApp, if you go to the WhatsApp, okay, if you go to the WhatsApp in Play Store, you will see the version something like 3.2.4, 3.2.1, 3.2.7, whatever it may be. But down the line, 2 years ago or 3 years ago, the version of software, when WhatsApp came into the existence, the first version was version 1.1.1. So continuously, WhatsApp developers started developing the product. They are improving their product. So this particular product is known as source code. The product is known as source code, and the management of source code is known as version control system. Okay, the responsibility of version control system is to keep all the team members on the same page. It makes sure that every one of the team is working on the latest version of the file, and most importantly, make sure that all of these people can work simultaneously on the same product or same project. Now let me give you one more example over here. let's say we are having version control. We are using version control, VCS, version control system. I have developed WhatsApp application with my team of 10 developers. This is just an example, okay? And today we are at version 2.1. Sneha, can you please mute the participants, because I think there is some
Yes,
noises. Yes. So let's say today we are having at the version 2.1. Tomorrow there will be currently our developers are working in the functionality like connect WhatsApp with Twitter. This is just an example, okay? And the version is 2.3, for example, or 2.2, and they deployed this version. Okay, they deployed this version, but this version is not working fine. This version is not working fine. The feature is not working. In this case, what they will do? Does anyone know what they will do? What the manager of the WhatsApp, or what I will do in this case if my version is not working? In this case, what I can do? So what I will do? I will roll back to version 2.1. If I am having the VCS, version control system, I'll roll back my application to the previous version. So this is the reason we are using the version control system to track the source code. Okay, if I want the source code which is 6 months ago or 1 year ago, my developer, which developer have worked on which functionality down the line 6 months ago. In order to keep history of the source code, we are using the version control system. If you see over here, the server, okay, and let's say there are 3 people, working copy, 3 people, developer 1, developer 2, and developer 3. These 3 developers are working individually. Once they done their code, they will commit the code into the repository. So repository is the central you can say central storage, where all the people will save their code, all the people will commit their code. So he will commit the code, then this person is also going to commit the code, and this person is also going to commit the code. But if I want to use this code again after 3 months or 6 months, at that time, what we will do, we will ask the server or the repository, hey, can you please provide me the updated code or the latest version of code? So I will start working. We are using the version control system. Okay. So in version control system, basically helps to communicate and manage or track all the changes that have been made to the source code, along with the information like who made it, who changes, and what changes have been done in my source code. Okay, so at the very basic level, if you understand, version control system keeps the track on the changes made on particular software and take a photo or the snapshot of every modification. Okay, what does it mean? You are working on something. Let's say you are a cook. All of you people are cook. You people work on some preparation of some dishes, and that dish is become very delicious. What you will do? You will just take a snapshot and you will eat that, right? Right. So basically, version control is keeping a snapshot of every modification, of every changes, or it is helpful to keep the history of code in the code base. Okay. Now I am going to give you one more example, which is the real-time example which I have worked on. So when I was working into Java development, we are having a team of 6 people, and we were working in the same project. Okay, and we were developing an Android application. Our Android people are developing an Android application, and I have written a functionality of adding a credit card as a payment system. At that time in our project, the credit card as a payment system was not available. Okay, and we have deployed that code into the dev environment. Dev environment means development environment. Okay, and we tested the code in the dev environment and we found that the credit card functionality is not working. We are not getting the OTP. When we hit through the API, we are not getting the OTP. We found out that this is the issue. What we have done, we have rolled back the application to the previous version. So it is happened only because of the version control system. Okay. So what are the benefits of version control system is? The first benefit is risk-free collaboration. As I told you, GitHub or any version control system came in place because many people are working on the single project and they need to collaborate to provide their share or to deliver their code or to deliver their functionality. So risk-free collaboration means multiple developers working on a single project may run in an issue because there might be a conflict in the code. Okay. There might be a conflict in the merges. So in order to resolve these conflicts in easiest manner, we are using the version control system. Okay, version control system create the copy of each version of the code. For example, if you committed the code hello world, it will create the copy of that particular code. After some time, you change the hello world to hello DevOps, for example. It will again create once you commit, it will create a snapshot. Okay. So this is the first point where we are using the version control for risk-free collaboration. The second part is managing and protecting the source code. Managing and protecting the source code. The version control system helps to manage the source code for the software team by keep the track of all the code modifications. For example, managing and protecting the source code. How we are protecting the source code. For example, in my team, I am having 10 people and everyone is working and committing their code in GitHub. But everyone is having their unique username and password. So I'll understand who is working on what functionality. If I want to find out like before 6 months or before 1 year or before 2 years, who worked on this functionality, this XYZ functionality. So it will be very easy for me to understand or to find out the person who worked on the particular functionality. So this is the second point, that managing and protecting the source code. Third point is increasing the accountability. So what is the meaning of accountability means? Every project is not a perfect project. Okay, everyone is making mistakes. I have seen lots of developers are writing not a good code or wrong functionalities. Okay, so every project is not perfect. So there might be chances of mistake. And ability to track down the source, track down the mistakes. And because if you understand where is the mistake, then you will be able to fix that particular set of mistakes. Okay. So in this case, what happens if I am a developer and I am doing a mistakes every time and I am committing wrong code in my GitHub repository? What will happen? My manager will come to me or my team lead will come to me and they'll ask me, hey, Gaurang, what you have learned in your 5 or 6 years of experience? You are not doing the good code. Because I will be easily trackable. Apart from 10 developers, I am easily trackable because my commit ID was shown in the GitHub. So in this case, my accountability will be increased, my productivity will be increased. I will think before committing the code. I will think that if I commit the wrong code, then I'll be getting escalated. My issue will be getting escalated. Okay. So what will happen? Due to accountability, the development team will work in more efficient manner. Okay. Then the next point is keep project in sync. To keep the project in sync, every change to be shared repository needs to work together. Like if we all people are working in the same project, before go live, we need to merge our code into the master branch. Before go live, we need to merge our code into any of the branch, not only master branch. Master branch is for production deployment. If we are working in the same team, we might first merge our code into a development branch. Okay. If our code not worked in dev branch, then what will happen? We will revert the code. Okay. And we will work on the bug fixing. So this will be the part of your project in sync. Okay. So project instincts means everyone in my project will know, like 10 people or 15 people working in my project will know Gaurang is working on this feature. Akash is working on this feature. Ashu is working on this feature because of it. Okay. So last point is comparing earlier version of code. As I told you, like if I want to understand what was the code, software code before 6 months, what was the code of my project before 6 months, so it will be very easy for me to compare the earlier version of code with the today's version of code. Okay, so there are different tools are available in the market for the version control. So GitHub, GitLab, Preforce, Beanstalk, and AWS Code Commit. Then there is a Bitbucket, uh, GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket. So these all are the tools which are used into the market in today's software development. So most widely used tools are GitHub as well as GitLab. Okay. So then any questions so far, guys? Any questions? Please, if you have any questions, then feel free to ask in the comment section. So there are two types of version control. The first type is centralized version control system. It is also known as CVCS. Thank you, Mohit. It is known as CVCS, centralized version control. Okay. And the other part is distributed version control system. Anand sir, the use of GitHub is to keep track of your software code. For example, we all people are working on a software development. Our project is 3 years old project. Okay. And we in everyday life, we are creating new features, we are adding new functionalities to our software. But in case one of my functionality is not working, which is developed 6 months ago or 1 year ago, for example. Okay, so in that case, what I will do, I'll check the source code with the help of GitHub. Hey GitHub, like I'll check GitHub, in GitHub down the line 6 months ago, who developed this functionality and what code is missing or what is gone wrong. Is there any library is not updated, then I'll update the library. So basically it is an album. Okay, if you want to see the photographs of your marriage or your mother father's marriage, so what you will do, you will just open the album and you will go in back in time and you will check, oh, this is the thing, these people are the part of marriage of my mother and father. Understand? So in order to keep track of your software code, yes, Shivraj, I'll come to this particular point. If repository will crash, do we have backup of repository? Yes. So your question's answer, Shivraj, your question's answer is in this slide. The types of version control system, centralized version system and distributed version system. Okay. So centralized, the meaning of centralized means only single center point of, there is only single point here. If you see the repository, there is a centralized version control system contains just one repository. This one repository globally, and every user needs to commit for the reflecting once change in the repository. Okay. For example, this is the centralized repository. Developer 1, developer 2, developer 3. All of these three people are committing their changes or updating their code in this centralized position. Okay. So everyone is using the same repository. But what is the drawback of this particular thing? As you told, single point of failure, it is having only one server. Because it is having only one server, so this is a single point of failure. What will happen if your repository got crashed, Shivraj? So the example of centralized version control system is SVN and CVS. When I started my career in 2015, I still remember I was working with one of the application. I'm not going to take that name. I'm one of the project where we are using the SVN subversion control system, because that application was 15 years or 20-year old. That application was developed in 1992 or 1993. So that application is known as legacy application. So the people are not ready to move from centralized version system to this distributed version system. So I still remember I after learning some things, I proposed, yes, Rohan, if it is the public repository, If it is a public repository, then it is very much legal. If it is private repository, anyways, you will not have access to that particular repository. Okay, so I worked with the SVN as well, and I am currently working with GitHub, GitLab in everyday life. Okay, so I proposed the client that, hey, can we just switch from SVN to GitHub? So there was a lot of discussion was there, a lot of discussion was gone over there, but finally I convinced them to move the source code from centralized version control system to the GitHub, because I gave them the demonstration. In order to commit the code or in order to work with the centralized version system, we need to be online every time. Or second drawback is, if repository is down, or if your server is got crash, we are not able to get the latest code. Although we are having a copy or backup of code in our local system. If you see here, working copy. So what used to do, guys, developer 1, developer 2, developer 3 people are working on the some features. Okay, so developer 1 will commit the code into repository, developer 2 will commit the code in repository, and developer 3 will also commit the code in his repository, the centralized repository. But when next time again these people started working on the new features, what they will do, they will ask the repository to share the updated or the latest code. So anyways, every developer or the manager or team lead is having the code with them, updated code. Okay, now the second part is to overcome this issue, like single point of contact failure. To overcome this issue, the distributor's version control system came into the picture. Okay, so ideally, let me give not only cons, but let me give you the benefits or the pros of the centralized version system. When centralized version system is most widely used today as well, in some of the scenarios, there is a possibility we need to use the centralized version system like SVN or CVS. But in which case, if the first point, if the application is legacy application, okay. Second thing, if the team is very small, if let's say I'm having a team of only 3 to 4 people and I have to handle the project, in that case, at a certain extent, I'll ask team to work with the centralized version control system, or our architect will ask to work on centralized version control system. Okay, now second one is distributed version control system. So see, guys, the word centralized, this is the center. Distributed, it is distributed. Okay, now there is one more set of layer over here. Okay, again 3 developers are working. Developer 1 working copy means developer 1, 2, 3. What they will do, they will commit their code into their local repository first. Local repository, we are going to see what is the meaning of local repository, what is the meaning of remote repository, and this is the remote repository. Okay, so distributed version control system contains multiple repositories. Each user have their own repositories and working copy. As I told you, every user 1, user 2, user 3 are having their own repository and own set of copy or own set of code with them. Okay. Now what will happen? Developer 1 will work on some functionality. They will commit their code in their local repository. Similar way, developer 2 and developer 3 also will do. Okay. Once everything is done, they will push their code. To the centralized server. Similar way for developer 2 and developer 3 as well. Now, here there is an extra set of layers in order to distribute your code. Okay. Once everything is done, when next time these people are started working again, developer 1, developer 2, developer 3, what they will do, they will pull the code into their local system repository. You can consider this repo as a local repository or your system. They will pull the code, they will start working on that code, and they will update the code. And again, they will push the code. So understand the flow. Developer commit the code. Once code is committed, they will push the code to the repository. When next time developers start working, they will put the code into their local, and they will start working in the local, and again they will commit and push. So most important part as a DevOps engineer is you need to understand what is commit, what is push, what is pull. Okay. So there is one more thing here. If developer 1 is working, you are not able to touch the code of developer 2. You are not able to touch the code of developer 3. Okay, you people are working individually as an individual contributor. It has cloned repository. Let me see the questions. If two developers and we are working on the same code and we change on the same line of code at the same time, then which change is accepted and how? So Hemant, this is, you can say, more of a real-time scenario. Okay. The first and foremost thing, it is never happened the two people will work on same code. They might be working on same functionality. One functionality have multiple tasks. Okay, there is no possibility that developer A and B will work on the same code. They will work on the same functionality but different tasks. As I gave you the example, I am working on login page and you are working on registration page. Okay, but in case still there is a dependency between the code. Okay, still there is a dependency between the code. If you both the people A and B committed their code at the same time, the code will get committed. Okay, the code will get pushed. But before merging the code into the master branch, before merging the code into the main repository, the team lead or the expert who is above us, who is sitting above us, he will compare the code. He will check the code quality. Understood? I hope my answer is okay for you, Hemant. Second thing, Git has cloned repository. Is it correct? No. It is not correct. It is not the statement. We are able to clone any repository with the help of Git command line. This is the fact. This is the correct statement you can use. Okay. So distributed version control system, in the distributed version control system, we are having different tools. The most widely tools are Git, GitLab, Bitbucket, and cloud-based tools. Okay. So any questions so far? So hello. Hemant, I hope I answered your question. If you don't understand, please feel free to ask me again. So I'll give you more clear answer. Okay. So let's go ahead with the differences. Okay. This is centralized version control and this is distributed version control. Okay. So centralized version control, there we are using the center repository. Okay. And distributed version control, we are having the multiple repositories per developer. One developer is having their own one local repository. Okay. Okay. Then second point is there are no local repositories. There are local repositories. This is slow. This is fast. Okay. This require always internet connectivity in centralized version control system. But in distributed version control system, developers can work offline as well. Only at the time of pushing the code into the remote server. Only at this point, at the push point, we require developer require the internet connectivity. Okay, but yes, they are working offline most of the times. Okay, then this is the entire column for compression, entire column as a partial compression. Okay, this is focus on sharing the changes and tracking and backing up the files. Distributed version control system is used. Due to network issue, what is version control? I didn't understand your question, Anand. Sorry. How to manage dependency of code which are written by two developers. So yes, Mohit, as I told you, to manage the dependency, developers need to synchronize. Everything is not going to happen with the help of tool. For example, me and Mohit, we are working together. Okay, so I'll ask Mohit sir, hey Mohit, I am working on this particular feature or this is particular task. Okay, you can work on some different tasks. Okay, so sometimes developer needs to align with each other. Developer needs to speak in order to resolve the conflicts. Anand sir, I have already explained what is version control. In order to keep the track of changes of your software, or in order to keep the history of your software, you are using the version control system, right? So now let's come to if you understand what is a centralized version control system and distributed version control system. Now let's go ahead with the most widely used tool in today's industry scenario is Git or GitHub. Please just give me a moment. Let me have a drink of water. Thank you, Jahangir, for responding. So now, what is Git? What is Git? Git is a version control system. Git helps us to track the code changes. As we know, the main function of version control system, you need to keep track of code changes, like what all code changes have done in my repository. For example, on 1st Jan 2023, what code changes done in my source code. Source code means project, in bracket project. Okay. But right now we are at 11th March. So in these 3 months, what all code changes or what all evolutions have been done in my project? To keep track of these things, we are using the version control system. Okay. Git is used to collaborate on code. We have discussed what is the meaning of collaboration. Multiple developers are working in the same project, in the same team. Then they need to collaborate in order to deliver better software. Git and GitHub are different things. Yes, Git and GitHub are different things. I'll explain what is the Git and what is the GitHub. Okay. So this is the symbol of Git, GitHub. This is the symbol of GitHub, and this is the symbol of Git. This is the symbol of Git. Okay, you will see the branches over here. I'll tell you why this symbol is so important and what is the meaning of this symbol. Okay, so why Git? Why we are using Git, or why we are learning Git today or GitHub today? What is the reason behind that? Is over 70% of developers in the whole world are using the Git. Developers can work together from anywhere in the world. Developers can see the full history of your project. As I explained you multiple times, if I want to see the history down the line 6 months ago, how my code was there. So this is the part, and developers can revert to the earlier version of project. This is also I explained you. For example, currently my version is 2.3.1. and I want to revert if that particular application is not working. So I'll revert my application to 2.3.0. What if there is no containerization? Yes. So the features of Git, what all features are there in Git? Okay. So when file is changed, added or deleted, it is considered as a modified. If we perform any operation, changing the file, adding the file, deleting the file, adding the content, it is considered as a modification of the file. You select modified files you want to stage. I will explain what is the meaning of staging. Okay. The stage file are committed, which prompts Git to store permanent snapshot of files. Understand, guys? The meaning of snapshot, you can say meaning of a snapshot is the photograph. Okay. Git allows you to see the full history of every commit. You are able to see down the lines 2 years ago if my project is that much older. If my project is 2 years or 3 year old and I want to see the first version of my project, right now my project is at 10th version. If I want to see the first version of my project, so I will be able to see with the help of Git. Okay. Git does not store a separate copy of every file in every commit, but keep track of changes made in each commit. Okay. So it means that it is not saving the file. It is not saving the every copy, but it is saving the changes. Now let me explain you what is the meaning of this. Let's say I am having a file called names.txt. Okay. In this file, in version 1, I am having names Gaurang Shah, Aditya, Akash. I have committed the file and I have pushed the file to central to the repository GitHub. Okay. Now in version 2, what I have done along with this file names.txt, what I have done in version 2 is I have added 2 names, Anjali, Priya, etc, whatever it may be. So what will happen? Again, I will commit the file and I will push the file to the GitHub. So what will happen? Git will understand, or Git will tell you that this new line is added. It is not going to save the complete file, but it will save the changes which we have done in the code. Okay. So this is the thing. Now the difference, Git is a software and GitHub is a service. Okay. Git is installed locally on your system, and GitHub is hosted on the web. You can use it online. Okay. It is the command line tool. It provides you the graphical interface. I'll explain what is command line tool means. You need to enter the commands in order to perform any activity, and graphical interface means you can just drag and drop with the help of GitHub service. Okay. It is a tool to manage different versions of edits made to files in a Git repository. It is space to upload a copy of the Git repository. Okay. It provides the functionalities like version control system, source code management. This is the software which is used for version control system. But this is not a software. This is a service. It provides functionalities of Git like VCS, source code management, as well as adding its own features. So basically what happened, if you are having your source code on your local system and you want to publish that particular set of source code online for other users or for other developers, in that case you are using the GitHub. Okay. Now let's see the installation process. I have already installed it in my system, but still I'll show you. Okay. In order to download the Git, the first and foremost step is you need to download the Git. Okay, as per your system, you need to download the Git. If you are using Windows, then you will download the Windows software. If you are using Linux, Unix, you will download the Linux, Unix binaries. So this is the link from where you can download the Git. If you see, this is the reference manual is already given over here. So guys, in order to learn or in order to understand any tools or technology, irrespective of your favorite field, if you want to learn data science or artificial intelligence, you need to follow the official documentation website. Okay. There is one more site I need to give you. So this is Git. Okay, so how Git looks like, I'll show you. Okay, so this is the Git, the software I have downloaded, and it looks like this. Okay, now the second part, what you'll need is GitHub. if you see, this is my GitHub repository. I have, let me open it in public. If you see, the first step is you need to sign in or sign up with the GitHub. Okay, so in this sign up, we need to enter our email address. For example, let me see, it is available or not. Rupali ma'am, which last screen you want to see? Can you please? You want to see the PPT or something like that? Let's see it is available or not. I don't want this. So you need to think like this. You need to first register like this. Okay. Once your registration is done, there is a different way, difference between screen. Okay. Yes, sure. Yes, ma'am. This is the difference between. Any questions? Thank you. So this is the way I need to verify my account. So this is the way you need to create your account. So I'm already having account, so I'm not going to waste my time and yours time as well. So you guys need to also guys need to create an account on github.com, and you need to download the Git software from the link which I have given to you. Now what we'll do is to start a project. Okay, to at the very start of project, what all commands we need to use is git init. Okay, so what is the meaning of git init? So before git init, let me explain you this particular part. So it's not bad. Okay, so there are some of the commands. Git config -- global user dot name, and then pass the username. Okay, so me give it to you. So if all of you people are using the GitHub for the very first time, or you are configuring the Git for the very first time, so in that case you guys need to yes, Gmail will work, anything will work. Okay, so if you are doing I don't understand Mohit sir. Okay, so very first part is you need to configure your username. The username, what is the meaning of username is, for example, in this case, what username I have passed is Shah Gary in this case. Okay, and my current repository, if you see over here, so what is my name is Gaurang 007. Looks like a James Bond. Okay, so what I'll do, git config -- global user dot name Gaurang 007. Okay, and I will provide my email ID. Whatever email ID with which I have registered to this particular Git repository. If you see over here, I have registered with my Hotmail's email ID. So this is the first part. Now, how you will understand like who is registered? If you see over here, if I'll remove this user name, then you will get git config -- global user.name. So I'll get my username Gaurang 007. If you see over here, and if I type user.email to understand by which ID I have logged in. Okay. So these two are the commands where I will understand what is the username of the current user of Git and what is the email of the current user of Git. Okay. Then I hope you understand, guys. What is the setup? Configuration user information across all the local repositories. The first command is used to configure the username, and the second command is used to configure the email ID. Okay, like with which email ID you want to push your changes to the online or to the remote repository. Okay. Then git config global color.ui. Okay. So let's do this. If you see over here, so what this command will do, auto set the automatic command line coloring for the Git for easy reviewing. Okay. Now let's start a project. Now what we will do is we are going to start a project. Okay. So what I will do is I'll cd desktop ls-la. Okay. Make directory PHN git demo. So guys, what is the meaning of mkdir is I am creating a directory with the name, just a minute, PHN git. For example, PHN git. Okay. So right now, if you see over here on my desktop, there is no folder with the name PHN git. Okay. If you see, there is no name PHN git. So what I'll do, I'll create it from command line. Okay. So now my directory is created, PHN git. Okay. Now next part is I'll go inside this directory. I'll go inside PHN git. Let me clear the terminal. Let me increase the font size. What I'll do, I'll go to PHN git. If you see over here, there is no files available because we have just created the directory. Okay. Now what I'll do, I need to initialize the GitHub repository. So what is the meaning of initialize is how someone will understand, or how Git will understand this is my project folder. How Git will understand is this is my project folder. So what we will do, we will use git init command. Okay. So if you see over here, initialized empty git repository in phn git.git. Now let's see, if I'll do ls, I am not able to see any file over here. If you see here, there is a .git file, right? But how we will see over here, ls-la. If you see, the git file folder is initialized. If you see, this is a folder. Now let me show you what is in this git folder. So these all files are available in .git folder. Reference, object, info, hooks, description, config, head. So right now you do not need to worry about this because this is part of your advanced Git. Okay. So now what we will do is I'll create a file with the name touch git commands .txt. I am creating one file with the name of git commands.txt. Okay. If you see, the git commands.txt is available. Now what I'll do, I'll write some commands over here. So why don't write these commands only? Okay, so what I have done is I have written some commands over here. Okay, now so you understand what is the meaning of git init? The meaning of git init means we are initializing a new git repository, or my system will understand, my laptop will understand, hey, this is the git project, this is the git project. Okay, so what I have done after creating the initializing the project, what I have done, I have created a single file. You can consider this particular file as your source code or as your project code. Let's consider it. Okay, and I have written two commands over here, some data over here. Now what I'll do is git status. If I'll do git status, it will give me the thing git status on branch master, no commits yet, untracked files. So what is the meaning of untracked files? What is the meaning of stage files? What is the meaning of tracked file? That will come in some time. Okay, so the file is not yet tracked. So right now this is most important part for you, untracked files. So this is right now in my system only. Okay, this is not the part of my project. So now what I'll do, I'll ask git to add this particular file. Okay, now let's do git status once again. If you see the difference, the previously this is written copy. Next. Okay. Before adding files in staging area. Okay. Second part is after git add command. Okay. Adding files in staging area. I'll explain you in very easiest language what is the meaning of staging area. Commit file commit. After adding the file in the staging area, what we have seen is this changes to be committed. Okay, copy. If you see, the name is in green. Changes to after commit. So these three commands you will be required every time, irrespective you want to learn DevOps or not. If you are using Git and GitHub, make sure these 3, 4, 5 or 10 commands which I am going to give you, you need to use it in day-to-day life. Okay, so the next part is we have committed, we have added the changes in the staging area. Okay, now git commit -m. Okay, git commit -m. Let's learn git version 1. So what I am doing is I am committing my changes to the git repository. Okay, so what is the meaning of commit is? What is the meaning of commit? Commit changes in my local git repo. This is my local git repo. So what is the status? Git commit -m. The meaning of m is to provide the message. Okay, so in real time what happens? In real time what happens? Let's say I am working on login page. So what I'll do? Login page feature changes. Okay, so this type of commands or this type of messages we are passing. Okay, in case I am fixing something, if there is some bug in login page, fixed CSS in login page. This is just an example. So the meaning of commit is you need to provide the fruitful message. So someone who is using the Git or someone who is looking at your code, he'll understand ki, yes, Gaurang had done this type of changes in order to fix this thing. Gaurang have added this function. Gaurang have removed this feature. So this is most important part. Okay, what we'll do now? We'll commit the changes. If you see over here, after commit, what we have got in the commands. If you see over here, master root commit, this is the commit ID. What message I have passed? Let's learn Git version 1. This I have passed. Let me copy over here. Okay, let's learn Git version 1. One file change, two insertions plus. If you see, we are having two lines in this particular code, in this particular file, git commands.txt. One file change and two lines are added over there. Okay. So, Sagar sir, M means message. M means message. You need to provide the fruitful message that yes, I have done this particular set of thing in my file. I have changed this set of code in my file. I have reverted this set of code from my file. So this is the meaning of -m. Okay. So right now our code is committed, and now let's do git status once again time. Okay. If you see here the meaning of git status, on branch master, nothing to commit, working tree clean, tree clean, working tree clean. So you guys understand so far the three commands: git init, dot, git add, okay, git commit -m and message. So any questions so far? If no, then I'll go ahead with the next steps. Okay. I'll explain you git clone after some time. Git clone project URL. Basically, what is the meaning of git clone is, for example, yes, Sapna, I'll explain what is the staging area in this particular slide. This is the slide where we are going to discuss about what is the meaning of staging area, what is the remote repository. So okay, let's explain this first. Then I'll go ahead with the next commands. Okay, git clone is pending. Let me mark it with the red. Okay. Git status, we have seen the meaning of git status displays the status of your working directory. Option include new, staged, and modified files. It will retrieve branch name, current omit identifier, and changes pending in the commit. We have seen git status, right? Git add file. If you are having 10 files, in that case, you will do git add dot. Let's do one thing. Let's do one thing. vim DevOps.txt. Let's make some of the files. Okay. In these files, what we will do, we will add some of the lines over here. Insert Linux, shell scripting, Unix, then GitHub, Jenkins, Java, Maven, etc., etc. Now I want to show you some of the examples. Vim cloud.txt. Okay, let's insert AWS, Azure, GCP, Alibaba, etc., etc. Okay, there is one more file. Let's add vim companies.txt. Okay, insert Amazon, Google, ECS, FD, Meta, etc., etc. So let's understand what will happen is, if I do git status, then these files are still in my laptop, but these files, my git do not understand that what is this files about. If you see over here on branch master, untracked files, till the time git do not understand why these files in my project system. Okay, now what I'll do, I'll just do git add, let's say cloud.txt over here. Okay, again I'll do git status. What will happen? Only these two files git do not understand, because we have added cloud.txt in the staging area. If you see over here, okay, the reason is I have added a dot. what I'll do is stage. Okay, so what I have done, guys, I have removed this particular file from the stage. So let me explain you the meaning. Okay, so git add file means git add. If you want to add only one file into the staging area, at that time you will write git add file. If you want to add the directory, git add directory, you provide. Git commit means create new commit from the changes added to the staging area. The commit must have message. Okay, then we will have git diff. This we will take after some time, but before, first understand the basics, the meaning of staging area, local repository, remote repository, etc., etc. Okay, so working directory. Okay, so right now this is my working directory. Okay, if I'll add any file over here, this will be added in my working directory. Okay, so meaning of working directory is pretty simple. This is your local directory where you make the project or write the code or make the changes. This is your workspace. Okay. Then staging area or index. This is the area where you first need to put your project before committing. Before git commit, you need to provide your project. This is used to code review for the other team members. So what happened now? If VIM to write the anything in your file, virtual editor. Okay, staging area means you need to add your file into the staging area. Now give you the simple example. How many of you visited the airport or railway stations? Please in comment box. And yes, no. Are you guys ever visited to the railway station or airports? Please in comment section. Yes, no. Yes, only Sapna ma'am visited, Shivraj ji visited. Okay, thank you so much for interaction. So what happens if you visited the airport? Okay, if you visited the airport or anywhere in the queue, when you go to the airport, the very first stage is you need to provide your Aadhaar card and you need to provide your snapshot or you need to provide your picture to the counter before getting into the plane. Before going into the actual location from where plane is going to start journey. Okay, so that area is staging area. So okay, so in that case you show your boarding pass. You will show your boarding pass to the security guard. Hey, I am having the boarding pass. Okay, I want to travel to some other place. So that is your staging area. Okay, once you enter to the airport, that is your staging area. Then what is your local repository is before going into the plane, you need to show again that boarding pass to the flight attendant. Hey, this is my seat. Okay, so this is your local repository. Once you sit in the plane and then plane start journey, you fly in the cloud. This is your or reach at the remote destination. This is your remote area, you can say. Okay, so I think you understand. When you enter the airport, before entering the airport, you are having your workspace. Once you show your boarding pass to enter the airport, this is your staging area. Once you entered in the airport, you need to go some other special room or special queue. For example, you are traveling from Pune to Delhi. The queue was different. If you are traveling international, you are traveling from Pune to France, for example, the queue is different. So accordingly, you need to provide your queue. So that is your local repository. You need to stay in that line. This is your local repository. And once you sit and you fly, this is your remote repository. Okay. Because it takes the snapshot. It takes the picture. That's why it is known as your staging area. If you see over here, if I have done this add command, if I ran add command, after that, what it is saying, changes to be committed, and these files are staged. These files are on the stage now. Okay, so this is the index. Next is local repository. So local repository means once you commit your code, the Git will store that particular snapshot. It will understand. It will or the if you are doing an international travel, okay, the travel agent or the person who is sitting in the immigration, he will stamp on your passport. That stamp is known as Git commit. Stamp means yes, you are eligible to fly now. Okay, so local repository, this is your local repository where you commit the changes, to the project before pushing them to the central repository, before pushing them to the remote repository. Okay, this corresponds to a .git folder in our directory. So the snapshot will be stored in .git folder of our repository. Now, what is the central repository? Central repository is this. This is the central repository, the online repository. This is the central repository. Okay, because from local, I will push my changes to this particular set of repository in my account only. Okay, so how we will do that, I'll explain you in a bit. Okay, so first understand what is Git file system. If you add, move or remove or update any file, then that, and you run git add command, that after adding, it will go to the staging area. Once it is in staging area, when you commit that changes, it will be in your local repository. So Git will take a snapshot or the picture that yes, this particular traveler is right now stamped. This particular traveler is stamped now, means he is eligible to travel outside the India or wherever he wants to go. Okay, then if we will do git commit -a directly, if we use direct this command, then it will directly jump into the local repository. You can say this is the VIP stamping. For example, if chief minister or any politician is traveling from one place to another place, does he will stay in the queue? He'll directly get access to the local repository. Similar way, some of the developers or some of the people are pretty much confident on their code. Okay, if I know I have written this code and I'm pretty confident that this code will work, in that case, what I'll do, I'll just in a single command, I will from workspace, I will commit my changes from workspace to the local directory. Okay, now what is the meaning of git reset file? The meaning of git reset means, for example, again, I will go to the airport level example. For example, if in your bag, the custom people will found some unauthorized things, like let's say knife, they found knife or lighter. So what they will do, they'll ask to come out of the queue and they'll ask you to stay outside the queue. So we will have a communication with you. So we will understand that yes, you are having these things in your bag. What is this in your bag? So what you need to do, you need to remove this particular set of things from your bag. Then and only I am going to allow you to go into the local repository or to go into the stamping stage. So what I have done is, in my last example, what I have done, if you see over here, git restore -- staged and name of the file companies.txt. If I do copy here, I'll paste you. Okay. Now, if I'll do git add dot, what will happen after this? The companies.txt will become green. If you see over here, these two files are green and this is red. Okay, because it is unstaged. I have unstaged this particular file. If I'll do git status, again it is in the stage. After removing the knife or obligatory material, knife or obligatory material, custom people allowed me to travel. Okay, so this is the meaning of staged. Okay, reset. We are able to reset the commit as well. Now let's see, if I want to see the logs, how many commits are happened in my local. So what is the command is git logs. If you see over here, let's learn git v1. What is the reason behind that we are having only one log in this particular command? because these three files we have added in the staging area only. We do not push this particular set of files to the local repository. If I'll do git commit -m added new files for v2 version 2. Okay, if you see over here, after doing git commit -m, 3 files are changed. 17 insertions means 17 line of code I have written in these 3 files. And if I'll do git log, instead of showing 1 entry, it will show me 2 entry. If you see over here, after doing git log, I am able to see the 2 entries. Okay, in these 2 entries, what all things are there? The author is this, the email ID of author is this, okay, the date is this, and time is this, and the message is this, the message is this. Okay, and this is the most important part, is commit ID. So with this ID Git will understand the time, exactly when, who, and what he have done the changes. Okay, so for example, if I want to see the code 6 months ago, 7 months ago, or 1 year ago, so what, from where we will see? We will see from the git commit ID. Okay, explain git restore again. What we will do is git restore. Okay, we are not able to restore these changes. The meaning of restore is very simple. If I have added these 3 files, for example, companies.txt, devops.txt, and cloud.txt. I have added these 3 files. Okay, but after some time I came to know that cloud.txt, there is some code, some changes needs to be done. Some changes needs to be done. I understand after some time, after adding the files, I understand that some changes needs to be done. So what I will do, I will use this restore command, that hey, can you please remove the cloud.txt from the staging area to my local repository, to my this code base, this particular code base. Okay, understand? Okay, now we'll see git diff. Okay, so the meaning of git diff is show the changes between working directory and staging area. Okay, now let's do one thing. PIM cloud.txt Alibaba Oracle Cloud. Let's add Oracle Cloud over here. Okay, and VIM DevOps.txt. Let's insert Docker over here. So guys, what I have done is I have made changes in these 2 files, DevOps as well as cloud.txt. I have added some code or some content over here. Okay, so now what I'll do, I will do git add. I am adding only devops.txt. Okay, if we do git diff devops.txt, so what it will show? It will show nothing. Okay, if we see the git diff cloud.txt, so what it will show you, I have added new 1 line Oracle. So if you see the difference, it shows the changes between working directory. Working directory means after committing the code, and the staging area. If you see over here, this is the staging area and this is the workspace. It will show the difference between them. Okay, and git diff -- staged file, if we use this command, shows any changes between the staging area and the repository. If you want to see the changes between these two particular files, staging and repository. For example, let's do git diff stage, git diff -- stage, which file, let's say devops.txt. If you see over here, what is the difference between the main file devops.txt, which is already committed, and right now it is not committed. We have added one line docker. Understood? The difference between git diff and git diff staged. So git diff, it will show you the difference between these two stages, and in git diff stage, it will show you the difference between these two stages. Any questions so far, guys? If not, then we will. I want to show you some error now. See, for many, I repeat this for the new people. To learn DevOps, to learn any tools and technology, it is very easy thing. What is most difficult thing is to troubleshoot the issues if you fail somewhere. Okay, so let's do one thing. Let's do something. Let me create one repository. Okay, so I'll show you how to create a repository. So what I'm doing, what is the meaning of repository? There are two repositories right now we are having. This is my local repository. And this is my online repository, which is hosted on github.com. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll create new repository. What I'll give you name PHN Git demo 1. Okay, I will make it public. Public means anyone on the internet, even you guys are able to access this particular repository. I'll add readme and create repository. If you see over here, I have created a repository. Okay, now if you see, there are only one file is available over here, readme.md, right? Now what I want to do, I want to send all of these files to this location. Okay, so how to do that? To do this, we are having some commands. Git remote add origin repo URL. Okay, so this is the command which we need to send. Okay, but this command will fail. I'll show you why. This command will fail. I'll show you why. Okay. So guys, understand what I have done. I have taken this particular what you say, the repo URL. The repo URL, you will get it from here if you are doing HTTPS. In case if you are connecting from any Linux or any virtual machine, Linux virtual machine or Linux virtual machine, in that case you need to perform SSH. So for that you will take this particular URL. But right now we are connecting from our Windows machine, so that's why I'm using the HTTPS URL. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just replace the URL with HTTPS URL. But this command will fail. The reason is I have already defined origin. So understand this first. Git remote add in bracket alias. Okay, so origin is alias and URL is repo URL. But in my case, origin is already available, so my command might fail. Not might, 100% it needs to be failed. Git remote add origin PHN git demo 1. Okay, now then what we will do, git push the current branch master has no upstream branch. To push the current branch and set remote as an upstream. Okay, what we do, Now let's see over here. If you see here, what I have done is I have written a wrong command, git push origin. Okay. So the origin is basically pointing to the master branch. If you see over here, in master branch, I am having the complete history which we are having in my local system. If you see cloud companies, DevOps, Git commands, these files are available over here. If you see, along with the timestamp, like 25 minutes ago, I have committed this set of file git commands.txt, cloud.txt, and these three files, cloud companies and DevOps.txt. These three files we have committed nine minutes ago. Okay. If you see over here, the branch is 2 minutes ahead, one commit behind. Okay, so it will show you the differences as well. Can you please mute, guys? Sneha ma'am, someone from PHN.
Yes, sir. It's muted.
Yes. Thank you. So git branch -a, let me show you. So it will show you the number of branches available over here. Okay. List all the local branches in the repository. Git branch -branch name, create a new branch referring to the current head. If I'll do git branch dev, okay, it will create a new branch called dev. Again, if I'll do git branch -a, it is dev branch. But currently I am on master branch. If you see over here, currently I am on master branch. Now I want to shift to the dev branch. So how I'll do that? Git checkout -b dev. If I want to check out, if you see, if I write git checkout dev, I am connecting to the dev branch now. Okay, so let's say I want to create a new branch called test. So what I'll do, git checkout -b test. So what it will do, it will create a new branch called test and switch to that particular branch test. If you see over here, from dev to switch to the new branch called test. So git checkout -b test. Okay. So any questions so far? Any questions so far? You guys want the notes? I have created some of the notes for you guys. Everyone is responding for the name of notes. If I ask any questions, if I ask you to ask me any questions, no one says anything. It's really interesting. Okay, so before asking for a notes, I'll request you guys to connect with me over the LinkedIn. This is my LinkedIn profile, and just ping me. So I'll share you the notes which I am having and a couple of the links which are really beneficial for all of you guys to understand the Git more deeply. Okay, so before going ahead, what I'll do, so there is something there. Okay, Git clone project URL. This particular part was pending, right? So what I'll do is, so let's do one thing. I'll do Git clone. What we will do is we will clone the project from our remote location to our local system. So how to do that? How to do that? what I'll do is I want this to be in my system. If you see, if I'll do git clone, if you see, I have done git clone and maven cicd 1.git. This project I have cloned into my local repository. If I'll do ls-la, okay, I'll go to maven cicd1. I'll do again ls-la. If you see readme.md steps.txt, readme.md steps.txt, these two files I have cloned. I have taken this particular set of repository from online to my system. Okay, understood? Okay. Let me do controls here. Okay. There is one more important point, but it will take some time to cover. Okay, git branching strategy. So you guys understand what is the meaning of branch, like why we are creating the branch. Now, in order to explain you the git branching strategy, again, let's go to the Notepad++. Okay, let's say we are having a team of 5 people working on software development. Okay, okay. Now what will happen? A, B, C, D, E. These are 5 people. Everyone is having their own branches, own branch. Okay. So what is, and everyone is working on feature. Feature 1, feature 2, feature 3. Feature means functionality. Huh? Okay. Clear? Hai? Till that point. What is the meaning of own branch? What is the meaning of feature? Own branch means you all people are working, you are having your own this type of project structure. Everyone is having your own special laptop. You guys are working individually and you are guys are working on different features. Features 1, feature 2, feature 3, feature 4, feature 5. Okay. Now what will happen? Once all of you done working, you will commit the code. You will push the code, not commit. Push code to dev environment, dev branch. Okay. Excuse me. So understand the branching strategy. Branching strategy may we are having 4 main branches. Master is main branch. Okay. Dev, where developers commit the code, and QA, where testers work, test the code. So clear till the point. We are having 5 people. Everyone is having their own features and functionalities. In the branches, we are having 3 branches. This is the personal level and this is the project level. Okay. Now let's go over here in this particular code. Okay. So what will happen is everyone is working on features. So are you guys are able to see these pink balls? This pink ball is feature. Okay. And these are the feature branches. As I told you, this is the feature branch 1, feature branch 2, feature branch 3, 4, 5. Okay. So what will happen in the first month? In the first month, 4 developers commit their code or commit their code in this particular features. So 1, 2, 3, 4 features are there. In the second month, these 4 plus like we all are developed some more features over here. Okay. So guys, understand this is the timeline. This is the timeline. Okay. And let me make it a little bit larger. This is the timeline and this is the feature branch. This is the feature branches. This is the develop branch. This is the release branch. This is the hotfix branch and this is the master branch. Master means the production branch. Okay. So you guys are, we all of our people are working. We will, what we will do, we will work on our individual branches and we will commit the code in our individual branches. Once work is done, what we will do is we will commit the code in the develop branch. If you see over here, these two and these three changes are committed over here, this yellow ball. If you see this particular set of arrow, okay, we do testing as a developer over here. If everything is good, what we will do, we will push that changes to the release branch. This is the green one is release branch. Okay, so what will happen in the release branch, the QA people will start working on. QA means testing people. Testing people will test the functionality. Okay, functionality 1 is good, functionality 2 is good, functionality 3 is good. Let's say functionality 4, this is functionality 4, it is not good. What they will do, they will again push it to the develop branch. They will ask developer, hey, developer C, your work is not good. We find some bug in your code. So can you please fix this code? Can you please fix this code? So developer, what he will do, from develop branch, he will pull the changes into his local system. He will start working on the fixing the code, and again he will push the code to the dev branch, and from dev branch he will push again code to the QA branch. Now QA people will say, okay, everything is good. So what they will do, they will commit or they will push the code to the master branch. If you see over here, this is the master branch. The master branch is the main branch where we require a clean code. There will be no errors in your code. There will be no bugs in your code. Okay. So once everything is good, we will deploy our master branch. And we will provide it the version tag 0.1 means version 0.1, tag 0.2 means version 0.2. And what is the meaning of bug fix? The meaning of bug fix is, for example, let's say we have committed the code in the master and we started working on new features. We started working on new functionalities. But after some time, the user will come to us and they will say, hey, Gaurang, your registration page is not working good. I am not able to put my password in what do you say? I want the password needs to be like, I need a special characters as well in that password, but your registration page is not accepting that. Can you please fix it for me? So what I'll do, I know my work is good, but there is some small bug is there which needs to be fixed. So what I'll do, I'll check out my code from master branch. I will create a hotfix branch. Hotfix means a small changes which needs to be done on priority. If someone will come to you and they will ask you, hey, I want this work needs to be done in 3 hours. I want this work needs to be done in 4 hours. It is very much priority. In that case, you will create a hotfix branch and you started working on hotfix branch. If you are done with hotfix branch, what you will do, you will send that hotfix branch to the develop branch again. And then you will commit it to the master branch again. So this is the way Git branching strategy works. If you want to know more about the branching, like more detail about the branching, so there is one blog. Let me see that blog is handy with me or not, because, and there is one more thing, guys. This branching strategy is not used everywhere. Every project is having different branching strategies, different mindset of people, different mindset of developers. But yes, this is the general way of branching, not the fixed branching strategy. Git branching strategy. So if you really want to go deeper in this particular branching strategy, then you can refer this link. Okay. So I hope I tried to explain you the basics. Like advanced level, to learn the advanced level, what you need to do is temporary commits, inspect and compare, reverting changes, synchronizing repositories, troubleshooting the code conflicts, and merge request approvals. So the merge request approval is one of the most important aspect of software development life cycle. So this is the advanced level, which may need 6 to 7 hours of time. So this is the point. I am good with the Git and GitHub. If you guys have any questions, then feel free to ask. And apart from this, for the people who attended my session on last weekend, I am having something for you guys. There is one example which I have created just recently today morning itself to give to you guys. The shell scripting, basic shell scripting. So that basic shell script I'll give you. This is just a one example. You can write 100 or thousands of shell scripts. Huh? It is not necessary like this is only the shell script available, but this is just an example I'm giving you. Yes, Priti ma'am, the PHN team will share this recording with you. Sorry. Okay. Cat install jenkins.sh. So in last weekend, reverse the code. You are asking about this. I don't understand what is the reverse you are asking. Which
Sir, I guess probably they are asking about the branching thing.
No, it is the reverse. Reverse the code means they are asking about the reversing the code, like from the staging area to the development area, right? Hemant sir, like my question.
सर ते एरर वगैरे जर आला असेल तर कोड कसा रिव्हर्स केला जातो?
Okay, git reset. You are asking about git reset file.
म्हणजे जर कमिट झाला समजा
ब्रांचला
गिटहब मध्ये,
म्हणजे तुम्ही पुश केला, गिट पुश केला, राईट?
पुश केला. तर मग तिकडे जर समजा ट्रबल आला तर मग त्याला कसं रिव्हर्जनिंग करणार?
रिव्हर्जनिंग नाही करत त्याला. आपण काय करतो त्याच्यातून, लेट मी एक्सप्लेन यू अगेन. व्हॉट वी आर डुईंग इज वी विल टेक अ न्यू ब्रांच आउट ऑफ इट. इफ यू आर आस्किंग अबाउट हॉट फिक्स, राईट? म्हणजे तुम्हाला हॉट फिक्सचं कन्सेप्ट शेअर करायचं आहे. Right. Let me again come. Let's say we are having a code which we already pushed to our master branch. Okay, but the client came to us and he will tell you, okay, hey, your this functionality is not working, or your functionality is working but partially working. I want like this. I want this code needs to be fixed as soon as possible. So in that case, what we are doing, we are again pulling the code. See the difference. Git push, pushing the code into the repository. Git pull, pulling the code from the repository, means from the center, from online to our system. We will pull the code, we will start working on that code, we will fix the bug, we will test that bug in our local system, and again we will, once everything is good, what we will do, we will push again that code into the master branch. If you see over here, and we will add the message like bug fix fixed with the name, like for example, added the special character password authentication. This is the example. Okay, so Rupali ma'am, I have shared my LinkedIn profile. I'll share that notes over the LinkedIn. Kindly please connect. And Vinay sir, just show the slides from the beginning and the summaries. Just a minute. Sure. So this is from the beginning. Okay, so this is the beginning of the slide, like old school days, how we used to work, like not me at least, at the time of my birth, you can say 92 or 93. Then version control system, why version control system came into the picture. Okay, then benefits of version control system, types of version control system. Then we have seen the differences, which is better, why it is better, which is what all pros and cons we are having. Then most widely used tool is Git. Okay. Then installation and setup, how we are doing the installation. Okay, how we are downloading and installing the Git, and how we are creating a account on GitHub that I have shown you. Then initial configuration, how we are doing the initial configuration of setting of username as well as user email for the performing the operations. Okay, then how to start the project with the help of Git init. Then how we are cloning the project. In the last I have shown you how we are cloning the project. Then what is the status, how we are adding the files, how we are committing the files, how we are seeing the differences between the staging area and the working directory, as well as how we can check the difference between the staging area and the repository. See, the git diff means what is changed locally but not staged, means what is changed over here in this space but it is not over here. For that we are using git diff. Then what is staged but not committed to repo? For that we are using this command, like what is staged over here but it is not here. To see that we are using git diff. Okay. Then the file system, how the flow works. Then we have seen the remote repository, how we are pushing our code to the remote repository. Okay. See, one error I have recently, error remote origin already exists. One error I have recently faced while creating the content for this particular webinar. So git remote add origin, this already maven CI/CD 1.git. The error was remote origin was already exist. So for that, what I have done, git remote add, instead of origin, I have changed the alias to CI/CD and provided the same link over here. And then I have pushed the code. After that, it worked. My code is getting pushed over here. Okay. So instead of giving, because in many of the scenarios or in many of the websites, you will see git remote add origin and repo URL. But what is the meaning of origin? Right. So this is just an alias. Okay. Then we have seen the branching, git branching, how we are creating a new branch, how we are switching from master branch to dev branch. That things we have seen. How we can delete the branch, git branch -d and delete the name of the branch. Okay, how we are merging the branch, like if I want to merge the code of Gaurang with the code of Rahul, for example. So in that case, we'll do git merge as well. Then this is the most important part, git branching strategy. But this is for the people who are already working in the IT industry and they are having the experience of 5 to 10 years of experience, in the range of 5 to 10 years of experience. So git branching strategy is most important part of for them, like people like me. If I visit to any interview or if I conduct any interview, if I take an interview, I surely ask this question to the my resources or the people who are interviewing for me. I definitely ask them, what is the branching strategy you follow in your project? So this is the most important aspect. 3-4 slides. Slide number. Can you please give me the name, Avinash?
Before this, yes. This one.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay. This one. Okay. Okay. So I think instead of slides, sir and ma'am, I'll request you that if you are having any questions, then feel free to ask me. In every interview, maybe it is of developers interview, maybe it is of DevOps interview, or maybe it is of cloud interview. Every interview will start with the fundamentals, and Git, GitHub, Linux, Unix shell scripting are the fundamentals of any software development. So they will, even as a DevOps engineer. Yes, Mohit sir. I didn't give you. Just a minute. Someone disturbed me. So this is the basic script which I have written today itself. Copy. I'll paste over here. So what this script is basically doing is, this script is basically updating the system, then installing the Java. Once Java is installed, this script will install the Jenkins. Okay. And once Jenkins is installed, it will start the Jenkins and it will enable the Jenkins for usage. So this script, basic script, which I have just recently written. Okay, so even you can add the advanced steps in these scripts, like I am not sure you guys are remembered or not. Once you install the Jenkins for very first time, it will ask you for the initial admin password. Okay, so in the next steps, you can write like automatically copy the initial admin password and provide it on the console. So I will provide it to the Jenkins. So this is also the way. Okay. Anyone? The slide number 3. Avinash sir, are you good with the slide? Okay. Anything else, guys? Because it's almost 2 hours and we are good to close the call. But if you have any questions or anything related to career you want guidance, then feel free to connect with me. So, PHN Technologies, please take
Yes,
over
sir.
the call. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, sir.